Hiya Gorgeous, this is Gail Burwell. I'm the founder of the Rockstar Wellness series. And today I have another amazing guest for you. I work with her, and I can tell you she's really remarkable at what she's doing. Her name is Caroline Diana Bobart. Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Gail. Thank you so much for having me on. I've been looking forward to this for weeks.
Yeah, I didn't forget about you, and I really wanted for you to be on today because I truly believe that what you're doing is needed. I was in this situation not a long time ago. To tell you, Gorgeous, so Caroline is a professional clairvoyant. And I have to say, it's amazing once you start to be an entrepreneur because you're more open-minded. You're more open-minded really to grow your business really from a soul level perspective, really to bring your authenticity and really to serve your clients. And Caroline is excellent really to help you remove any unconscious barrier, obstacles that you're not aware of. And sometimes, when you feel stuck and you don't understand why. So, Caroline, today I'm just going to ask you, can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Sure. That's a big, broad question, but I'll try. So I've been a professional clairvoyant I did my training over 10 years ago, and it's always been something that's been like really close to me. When I found out that it was a thing that you could train to be a professional clairvoyant, I was like, oh my goodness, that is me. That is who I am. It was just like, there's a few moments in life where you think, oh my goodness, I see myself fully. And that was one of them for me. And so I did my training. I've been a practicing professional clairvoyant ever since. And one of the great things about, I think, my life story, I'm a mom myself. It's been a big journey, becoming a mom, being an entrepreneur myself, being in this industry a long time, and being able to see, components of the industry from both sides, both as a student and as a practitioner. And, I've also moved countries a lot. So I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I did my degree in the States. I lived in the UK for 13 years. I live in Spain now. And that kind of life experience behind me has given me a real complete library. And I shouldn't say complete because it's always evolving. But one of the things about being able to read energy or see people is that you rely on your reference library for things that you see. Like if you see a situation that somebody's struggling with, or you see a relationship issue that is emerging again and again, it helps if you have a reference library where, oh, I've seen that before, and I know exactly what I'm looking at here. So like the more life experience I have as a practitioner, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, like the more rounded my reference library is, and I know what I'm looking at. So it's like it's a journey where you're continually learning, expanding, growing, and doing your own work as well, because it's really not possible to mentor at a high level if I'm not putting myself out on the line, in my own in my own life. It takes a lot of courage to be able to look at ourselves, as you would know. I mean, you've been in session with me. It's not easy to have somebody say, okay, boom, let's go. Gail, bam, 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 bam. Yeah. This is how it is. And you're like, there's no way to hide, right? And then when you see yourself, in the light of the truth, it's like you become responsible for, okay, what am I going to do? What choices am I going to make? How am I going to move forward from here? So, I think my work with clients is very, closely informed by my own journey as well.
No, it's beautiful. I really love the fact that you're saying that you're constantly evolving yourself as a human being and as a practitioner, and you're using as well your growth in order to help your clients. Because I truly love what you're doing, because I think once you are in this entrepreneurship journey and you're doing everything you can, to move forward the way you want to, but something is happening. You cannot put your finger on it. You trying meditation, healing, all kind of different modalities, and it's not working. That's why I think going to you and saying, okay, this is what is happening to me, can you help me, is so powerful, because you are in this position when you're honest with yourself, you're taking responsibility for where you are, and you really want to move forward.
Yeah, I think one of the things about being entrepreneurs is that we're so driven to do things ourselves, like we we just get things done, right? It's something needs doing, we get it done. And when it comes to matters of the soul, there's the way that I see it, or the way that it occurs to me, is that we operate at two levels. Above here is like, all our mental energy expenditure, emotional energy, all our ability to like just crack on with something and get it done. And then below here are all the hidden drivers that we don't see and that we're not conscious of, that really inform our behavior and our choices and our outcomes. So we can find ourselves as entrepreneurs at a place where we're, kind of swimming against ourselves, where, the mind says, go, 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 do. And your spirit is like, no. Something's way off of alignment. And, it's almost like life will hold you back till you stop and you figure out where things are not clicking beneath the surface. And that beneath the surface piece is really essentially how clearly you see yourself, how well you know who you are, and how closely aligned you are with like the work that you're doing in the world. It's I mean, in our industry, there's so many programs that you can do. You can learn, like there's free things, there's paid things, there's all kinds of group things, all kinds of things, right? You can find yourself like just on this treadmill of doing and learning and doing and learning. But that doesn't mean that you're connected to who you are. And what I find with entrepreneurs is that if you don't know who you are, you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but you're doing it because the experts say this is what you should do. This is what you need to do on LinkedIn. This is what you need to do on Facebook. This is how you structure a group program, blah, 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 blah. But your energy is not in it and you're not behind it. It's not gonna fly.
It's true.
And it's something I observe all the time, where, the easiest way to structure a business and have a business model that, is sustainable is to have a recipe that folks can follow in terms of how entrepreneurs are meant to, share their offerings, structure their services, their pay rates. Everything can be boiled down to steps that you can follow. But I find that the missing piece is often, how do you do all of that while being connected to yourself? And who are you? Who are you, and why is this important to you? Why are you doing this? What is your big outcome? For you as an individual, what is your big outcome for your clients? Like, what is your big vision, like, that makes people feel that what you're doing in the world is magnetic and they need to be a part of it? You see? So I find that when folks have been doing all the right things and haven't been getting the results, it's often because they're not connected with who they are and how they're really meant to share themselves and their unique work in the world. And that can be a really frustrating thing.
Yes.
When you're doing all the right things and you've invested, I mean, in our industry, it's not uncommon to invest tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds in your growth, in your business growth, in your personal growth. And sometimes that's just the missing piece. Like, are you connected to you? Do you know who you are? Do you know, like, what it is what is the big gift that sets you on fire? Because if you don't know that, and it's just a mental thing, like, this is a good business model, this is a good business idea, this could possibly work, you're not invested in that. That's not a reflection of your soul. That doesn't have like your your magic in it. And that's what people want. They people are intuitive. They know when I can learn from you because you have that thing. You have that connection to yourself that I'm searching for. And I think this is where we are in the world right now.
Yes, especially now. I think there is kind of big wake up call. I think for entrepreneurs to really act from a place of service and a place of authenticity. Because sometimes it's true, as you said, there's so much out there in terms of expertise, how to grow your business. And yeah, you can really go into this kind of shiny object syndrome when you say, oh, I know this one is going to work, or I know this one is really good. But to the end of the day, you're totally, absolutely right. If it's not connected with yourself, with who you are, it's not going to work. It's just like waste of money and waste of time. And I believe that it's true when you fire up, when what you do lights you up, when you're full of energy, when you love what you do, people feel it. People connect with your fire, connect with your energy and soul. And that's why I think they want to work with you, and that's why they follow you. So it's really something to remember as well. Okay, it's great. You want to serve people, you want to help them, but you, as a human being, how do you feel about it? Do you feel good? Do you feel excited? And I believe sometimes we can feel ourselves lost in the get things done as quickly as possible.
Yes, I notice that a lot, and I mean I see it in myself as well. If something's off kilter, something doesn't like give me the desired outcome that I intend, something's out of whack or out of alignment. My go-to can easily be, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Like, how do I correct this? And Einstein has a brilliant quote. It's something like, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it.
I love this.
And what that means to me is that, we operate on two levels. One is, a very mental, rational, three-dimensional level, and one is like on the level of our soul. And I think what we forget often is that we're so complex, we're so multidimensional, we are so much more and bigger than we realize and give ourselves credit for and take into account. So when we make the decisions or we try to take actions like, how am I going to rectify this? How am I going to improve this? How am I going to move past this? That's not taking all of you into account. That's just you, kidding yourself that you know anything at all. I mean, me, and I think one of the things about being a trained clairvoyant is that I can get right into the energy of what the struggle is. And this is the place where we don't see ourselves, right? It's like we can be quite egotistical that way and thinking like, I've been in business for like 20 years and I've been around and, this is not my first rodeo. But the thing is, I know there are places where I don't see me. I'm a trained clairvoyant and I need help sometimes to, to recognize when I'm stuck in a pattern from childhood, or when I'm stuck in a belief, a limiting belief, or when I am responding to like an agenda that isn't mine. Like these things are what I call like the hidden drivers that influence us so heavily, and that we don't take into account when we try to figure out an action plan. An action plan just is such a superficial thing in my mind, because it's like chess. You can move all the pieces in different ways, but that doesn't mean, again, that you're connected to you. This is what it comes back to. This doesn't mean that you're connected to your truth. This doesn't mean that like you're like connected with your like soul's passion and work right now. It just means you're just changing things around on the surface, right? And this is often the trap as we as entrepreneurs fall into, because like we're saying, we're so a lot of us are control freaks. We'll get it done. Or we kid ourselves that we'll get it done somehow.
Yeah, and I think it's a question that you create your own business, you want structure and framework. So you want to make sure that basically it's going to be in alignment with what you want. But it doesn't mean necessarily that what you want is what your soul or spirit desire. It's completely different.
Say that again, Gail. That's important.
I say it doesn't mean necessarily that what you want is what your spirit desire.
Exactly. And this brings us to the point of, I had this experience a few weeks ago myself where I'm not sure what actually triggered it, but I found myself asking, what if life asked me to let go of like my identity, who I think I am in the world? And it was like a shock, because the thought of me having to let go of, my title, Caroline Diana Bobart, professional clairvoyant to soul-driven entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, immediately, like my ego felt like, well, who would I be if I wasn't that? If life said to me, like, that's not really who you are. And I went through this whole process of like, would it be okay if I had to let that go? And in the end, I did get to that place of being okay with it, because it is a part of me. It is something I will always do. But it was just strange. And I think this is the like symptomatic of the times that we are in the world right now, where, like you were saying, like we're really being called and pushed to show up like in our most authentic, vulnerability and selves. Like folks have been through, the shiny.
Yeah.
And I think they're tired of it.
I think, you know what? People can feel it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now. Because it's not a time when you can accept this kind of fakeness around us. It's so real, it's so raw. It's tough at the same time. It asks for us to step up as human beings, to step up in our responsibility. And we cannot allow to have someone not in alignment with our values and principle. And I think that's why, you got this, you have the pandemic, of course, but we have this global movement for social justice as well. And people step up every day to make sure that their action contribute to a better world.
Yes, I think people are much more conscious of what they're putting their energy behind right now. And I think one of the criteria is, is this person that, wants me to follow them, are they doing their work? Because if they're not doing their work, like the time for that has gone. I'm not going to take a punt on that person anymore. Like, there's a real sense in the world right now, like it is real. Like it is all real. It is all happening now. It is all real. There is no luxury of time to, to say I'm not gonna look at myself right now. I'm not gonna look at the truth right now. I'm not gonna like be who I am right now. Like we don't have that luxury of time because one way to look at it is that not to. I do feel like there's a bit of a pressure cooker effect. And I think people are responding to that differently. Some people freaking out in fear, some people cannot cope, some people, searching more than ever before. Some people are really rising to, what they're being called and what's being asked of them. And I think that pressure cooker effect really takes away the luxury of like, I can pretend for 25 years that I'm doing the work and being spiritual and like we don't have that anymore. Like shit got real this year, right? So I think this is what I see in my work is that no longer, if you're on this like journey of like entrepreneurship and like really sincere and really really passionate about bringing your sacred work into the world, like this is the time. This is the time. And this is also, you know, the moment where we step away from how our minds want to figure that out. How's that going to happen? We don't know, like in this changing landscape, in this changing environment, how exactly, like you can't pitch your work exactly the way that you did a year ago, right? It's like the whole ecosystem has changed
completely.
And so, you know, what we're relying on is our authenticity and, you know, the people that we speak to find their own authenticity in themselves. And so it's a different conversation, it's a different connection, it's a different time. And that's why I feel so strongly about, you know, I'm such an anti-pivoter right now, because pivoting in, you know, it's what everybody, you know, the leaders in our industry are saying, you know, you pivot this, you pivot that, you pivot your program. No, you don't pivot something that is from the old world that, you know, you created with a different consciousness where people were more asleep. No, people have woken up.
Yes.
You were supposed to wake up with all of this, like, wake up, you know, things have changed. So I feel like, you know, this is where some people will get left behind.
I mean, yes, if you don't do this work and if you don't take responsibility for where you are right now, yes, I think in a certain way it's logical. Either you take the courage to do the work, or you're going to be left behind. It's as simple as it is, and you clearly explain it. And that's why it's true when you see, yeah, it's time to pivot, it's time to turn things around. It's not really a question to turn things around. It's a question really to do a deeper work about who you are and show up differently for your audience and for your community now.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel almost, you know, like when you boil milk and there's like a scum or like a skin that like comes to the top, that forms at the top, and then you have to take that off because it's like burnt milky intentionally, you can't use it. Like I feel that's what's happening in our industry. It's like there's a surface level of like crap that needs to be skimmed off, and no longer will it ever be relevant anymore.
Yeah. And
I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it was a necessary thing.
Yeah, but I can feel it's happening. At first, me, what I noticed is a fear. And I was so surprised at first, because you do believe that women and even men entrepreneurs, but they're here to serve people. But they started to be extremely scared. So it really wake up all the triggers, all the unconscious fears of everyone, no matter basically what you do in your life. Yeah. And I think it was key as well for us as entrepreneurs to realize that we have to do this work. It's something evolving, it's something changing all the time. And if you want to be there truly and passionately for your people, do your work. You know, and that's what you do, because me, I was in a stage where I knew something was missing. I wanted to know what's going on and was happy to take responsibility for it. And I went for it. And I do believe a lot of entrepreneurs are in this situation right now when they're trying by themselves first, as you said, and it's true, we like to get things done by ourselves. But the moment you have to be honest with yourself that you need some help, and some serious help, to grow the way you want to in your business, to serve people more on a global scale. And that's why I really love what you do.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really adored about your process is that you were just so like fearless about the whole thing. You were like, I'm going for it. I need to know. Just tell me now. like and we're like, okay, we're doing it. I'll tell you now. Like, this is it. Bam, bam, bam. Off you went. You did the things. And, you know, you could have spent, honestly, you could have spent 5 years in that same exact place, you know, trying to figure it out. And this is the trap that we fall into, is like, you know, what you were really searching for was like a higher vibrational place, and you didn't know how to get to that, right? What you did by stepping into session with me is that you were able to see and connect with like the part of yourself that you didn't know how to access otherwise. right? And sometimes it takes somebody being able to see us differently than the way that we see ourselves to remind us, like, yes, that is a thing. That is me. That is me. All of that is me. Because we're so conditioned and we're so, society kind of makes us live in ways that are more and more safe. And one of the things about being yourself is it's not so much a question of safety as it is a question of like just truth and just courage to be who you are and to step into that fully. And I think this is the thing that I see with entrepreneurs that I work with a lot. It's sad on one hand that some people wait so long that they could be in a situation like in a marriage, a failing marriage for like 9 years before they finally reach out because they're about to like crack. And I think that, the part of that is their journey as well. But then, you step into session and you have a glimpse of the truth and it is all there for you, like in an instant. And I think this is one of the things that I talk about in Pictures as Portals, the book that I'd love to offer your readers to share with your readers. I think at some point in there, I mentioned about sometimes the thing that you pray for, we don't know how it's going to show up. We could never like imagine in our minds, like, I need to talk to this person, or I need to read this book, or I need to have this experience. Like we can't pull those components together because we're like in that 3-dimensional realm. And what we're trying to reach into is like beyond the 3-dimensional realm where we have access to like the complexity that we are. When we allow ourselves to be okay with that complexity being part of who we are, like we access resources and possibilities and opportunities and encounters that I don't even know how we met. I mean, we're doing a podcast now, and it's like we were supposed to meet. We were supposed to know each other. Like this was not planned, right? It's like this is us following the energy of our growth. And this is what happens when you do this, when you trust yourself that like there is a bigger plan for me than what I can conceive of, and follow my little steps and do the safe things. There's nothing about what you've done in the past months, Gail, that has been safe. You're constantly pushing your edge, and it shows.
Oh yes, I totally agree with you. And it's quite interesting because I do believe that when you're honest with yourself, you know that you are in your safety zone. When you're happy about it, but you're not excited. You're not lighting up. You're a bit like, okay, that's great. I like it. You know that something needs to change. You need to step up.
Yeah, I remember something about our session that I said to you, and you're like, shit, I'm gonna have to do this thing. Like like there was no doubt about it. It's like if I thought I could hide from it, if I thought I could deny it, like God, like I have to do the thing,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's good that someone is telling you, yeah, girl, get your shit together. Sorry for this, but it's true. It's time, and now what is missing. So put everything together and go for it. And let's do that. Let's do it, because you can feel your soul need it. You need it as well for your growth. So yeah, I'm very dark today. I don't know why. It seems like it's a new camera, so apologize. I'm here. So yes, regarding your ebook, because I love this ebook. And can you tell us a little bit more about this? Because I have to say, I really love it. It's gorgeous. This ebook is the ebook to read. It's extremely powerful, and it's going to help you like that.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm so excited to talk about it. I just want to say really quickly, it was an idea that came into my mind when I was on Christmas break last year. And I thought to myself, I really want to be able to share with people what it's like to be in session with me, because it's a magical thing, as you know, right? It's like a powerful, life-changing thing that happens when you step into sacred space and you get seen. And so it wasn't until we were locked down here in Spain, we had such a severe lockdown. It was like everything locked down, everything. Like we couldn't leave, except for grocery shopping. And I think that was probably it. That was it. It was very extreme. And I had the time. I was at home and I did this ebook, and I had a wonderful team who edited and who put it together. And essentially what it captures is not just what it's like to be in session with me through 3 case studies of actual clients that I've worked with, but it captures as well that as entrepreneurs, what we are essentially searching for is not just connection with ourselves, but it's like we are searching consistently for like a higher vibrational place. That's how we grow ourselves. That's how we grow our businesses. That's how we evolve our experiences. That's how we take our next steps. And that is a very different way to be and to grow and to evolve than, like you were saying, Gail, where you're like, I'll do this and I'll do that. And, I'll just figure it out. Like, that's not you being on your edge. That's not you in a higher vibrational place. That's you just mucking around in the same, let's call a spade, right? It's true. We've all done it. It's no judgment here. I mean, I've totally done it. I know it well. It is mucking about in the same vibrational place. What we're after in this time, in this moment in the world, is to be who we are. Like, we're being called to step forward as who we are, in like no shyness, no bashfulness, there's no hiding. The world needs you now to be who you are. That is the need. That is the call. And that requires you to step into a new vibrational place. And if you don't know how to do that, it's because you're stuck in that 3-dimensional world. And I want your listeners to, look around and ask themselves, who am I following? Are they doing their work? Is there somebody I can learn from? Or are they just pivoting because, they want to sell the same program that they sold last year? It requires like a different questioning process. It requires a different level of like truth, and it requires a different level of like stepping into possibility for yourself, where there is no certainty. There's no certainty in the world right now. And I think what's more difficult for folks is that there's no certainty in our individual lives right now. And the only thing that you have as a backup is you. That's what you have. That's your security right now, is your connection with you. So if that has not been right, like, this is the time. You better get that right, So
No, it's top notch. I completely agree with what you're saying, because it's not the outside world that's going to tell you everything is fine. It is not at all. It's more the contrary. Every day, every damn day, you have a confirmation telling you that if you don't, in a way, become stronger inside out, to be connected with the world, but at the same time to be connected with your inner peace, you won't survive. It's maybe, it's maybe black and white, but I really do believe in it. When I saw COVID coming and everything, I remember I said to my husband, this is a trial. This is a trial here. Something is happening here, and we need to step up very quickly.
Yeah. And I pictures as portals, is a glimpse into a different world where you get to see who you are beyond your thoughts, that you get to see under here and how you operate under here as an individual, as a woman, and how your like hidden drivers like keep you stuck, playing the, like I said, mucking about in the same pool, So it's not really something to, to be hard on yourself about, but I think it's about really listening into, like, are you feeling the call to grow? Because if you are, what you're actually feeling is that reach into a different vibrational place. And it's actually, this is more of who you are. It's your safety, it's your security.
Exactly.
It's like your big yes. If there was ever a big yes in this time, it's to say yes to you.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And I think it's different from what people I think were thinking about it. Because accepting and really evolving in this growth asks you to be completely out of your comfort zone, to be in the uncomfort, to embrace your emotions, and also to take responsibility for what you do and what you don't do. And when you put everything together, it's something that is deep, not easy to go through. But this is a work that really authentic entrepreneurs are doing on a constant basis to ensure that they stay aligned with their spirit, with their soul. And and me, that's why I think I say yes to you immediately, because it's, for me, there is no way my audience is going to follow me if I don't walk my talk. And it's very important for me as well, because this is the way I'm authentic with them. And if you really want to have this deep, authentic connection with your audience, you're going to do the work. You're going to do it without even thinking about it, without any excuses. You're going to plunge and say, okay, I'm going to dive into it and I'm going to do it now. So that's why I think I still hope, that some entrepreneurs are going to step up and really do the work.
Yeah. If there was one last thing I could add, it would be that in this place of connection to yourself and what you are doing in your business, and like modeling for others in theirs, like, what that actually is that you do the work that you were shown, in the tangible logistical ways, but then, like, you hold space for the magic behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because the outcome that the past outcomes that we've gotten used to in years gone by, I feel like in so many industries, like, what is happening is there's a term that they use with paint, like just painting. It's called self-leveling. And so self-leveling paint is when you brush and there's brush strokes, but then it evens itself out. And to me, there's a self-leveling that's occurring in so many industries, if not, in every facet of life, where, all the rough edges and all the extraneous, unnecessary noise is becoming daily more and more obsolete.
Yeah.
So it's like what you're modeling in your business is a new way to create, a new way to communicate, a new way to be, a new way to hold space, a new way to, allow people to have their own transformation, because that is ultimately the most lasting transformation there is. When a person creates that themselves, that's a life skill that they will have with them every time they get in a jam for the rest of their life. So it's a different way to be.
No, I truly believe in this profound, deep change for everyone. And I believe that it would be such a huge benefit for all of us, because we are growing.
Yeah.
And with growth come beauty, come pain, but come such a better world. I truly believe in it. And yes, I'm going to ask you, do you have anything for us to work with you? Because what you're doing is, gorgeous. I'm telling you, it's truly remarkable what she's doing. If you really want to rise and soar in your business and in your life right now, Caroline is perfect for you.
Yeah, what I'd love to share with your listeners, first of all, is a copy of Pictures as Portals, because I think that is the first that's the first kind of doorway into like you reaching into a new vibrational place. It will open doors in your mind and in your body that that you didn't even know were there. And then from there, like if that is your experience, then I'm happy to invite folks into a one-on-one session with me. Like we could just figure out where you are and what you need. But I think that's the first step, is to get a hold of a copy of the book. You can email me at caroline@carolinediana.com. I'm sure you'll put that in the thing for me. And allow yourself to open to the possibility that there's a different way than your mind can see right now. And if you feel, in what we've been sharing, that what you need is a way to find that higher vibrational place, I'm a good person to talk to for that. I would say.
I'm telling you, she really truly is. So what I will do, I will put the link to have access to your ebook, Picture as Portals. I really invite you, Gorgeous, to download it, to take it, to read it, and take your time, because when I read it, I was gobsmacked. I was truly impressed, and I'm French, and it's quite rare for me to be impressed. So I will put the link. Caroline, once again, thank you so much for you to be here with us today. It has been a pleasure having you. And
I'm so excited about the conversation we've had. It's such a necessary conversation, and I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Yeah. She will be on my podcast, so you're going to have another conversation between both of us, much more longer. And I invite you. You definitely, you have to do it.
Super.
But yes, thank you so much again, Caroline. And Gorgeous, I will see you next week for another episode of the Rockstar Wellness Day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you.
Yes, Florence sent a little message saying, I love to hear this. So you can see, Caroline, people resonate with what you're saying, and they're watching us. So I'm sending you so much love, Caroline. So much love, Gorgeous. And see you later.
Thank you. Bye.